Uh, the biggest question is he heading back to WWE ahead of this year's Survivor Series? Triple H tweeted out a video of William Regal with his signature War Games saying.
War games.
Shortly thereafter, it was
Gotta do it with
revealed
the
that
accent, man.
right, War Games. It's like that.
There
That's
you
like
go.
I had to like do the eyes and everything. I almost popped a blood vessel. But shortly thereafter, it was revealed that Regal had apparently signed a 1-year contract with AEW and could be returning to WWE after said contract expires. So, if he did, in fact, only sign a 1-year contract with AEW, and I'm saying if, these are rumors, this is not truth, but if he did sign a 1-year contract with AEW, do you believe that he will be heading back to WWE or is he staying with All Elite Wrestling?
There's not too much for William Regal to like do in AEW unless he wants to attach himself to someone he wants to elevate as a heel per se,
Mm-hmm.
or he wants to just circle back like his little feud with MJF by taking somebody else as like an apprentice. Because I'm imagining that MJF is gonna have a really long reign. Um, and they're definitely gonna keep referencing like this little mini thing that they have going on where he's still pissed at him and holding a grudge because of something from a few years ago they're calling back. So I can still see him doing both. Because Triple H is here. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a different time, a different experience. He probably may have more control or more roles, and maybe just to give NXT that homey feel that we're all like missing, they they might just have William Regal go back down there and we could get our classic war games, that yell that we were
Right.
missing. Kind of pisses me off that they waited till right after the pay-per-view to jump him and have us questioning all this stuff. But
Right.
I feel like regardless where he goes, he's very usable. He has such a prominent role. He doesn't need to wrestle or anything. He could be an on-screen act with his smaller role being either a manager or, managing someone. Um, would I like to see him back in WWE? Of course. But I can't be upset if he wants to stay in AEW, seeing what he did for the MJF and Mox feud because it was already a solid feud. We were already like in love with it with then, but because of William Regal coming in and doing that small favor that he did, managing Mox and then pulling out that layer that we were looking for with MJF, so he's not like such a one note character on screen. It's just like wow, if he could do that to make a feud like that even more exciting, imagine what else he could do for AEW. So who needs the help more from William Regal is the question.
Mm.
Does WWE really need it? What would Triple H do with him, or should he continue to elevate other talents and other feuds in AEW? What do you think?
So, first of all, that's a great counter question to my question. Because the original
Mhm.
answer to my question was WWE. I think that he's definitely going to go to WWE. I feel like he only signed a 1-year contract because either he knew something that we didn't know or he just wanted to like try out AEW before fully committing, and he also wanted to remain he wanted to remain open to as many options as he possibly could. And so that 1-year deal gives him flexibility, right? Like that 1 year expires, you can go back to WWE. If you like it in AEW, you can stay. um, there were so many things outside of his on-screen character in WWE that he was doing, like his scouting and his recruiting. And now that WWE kind of kind of like, you know, got into a place where they're like, we're not fully out on the idea of including more indie wrestlers. There's a potential that William Regal can come back and can be used in the scouting capacity for that, as far as picking up indie wrestlers to bring to WWE. Now, as far as who needs his help more, I would love to see William Regal back in NXT Creative because it is a fresh roster compared to where he when he was down there before. Like he has a whole new set of faces. We don't know if Carmelo Hayes is going to be there for much longer, but even outside of that, you have so many different talents between Joe Gacy and Wes Lee and even on the women's side now that Ava Rain has debuted finally, and we starting to see Nikita and Zoe Stark develop their feud. Now you have a fresh set of faces to work with on both divisions in NXT. And I feel like WWE can use him. WWE can use him more than AEW at this point in time, considering that AEW is more. I mean, AEW is kind of like established itself outside of Regal in the sense of like, Tony recruiting like people that work with him on like recruiting and like and talent development, and they made all those promotions early in the year with Tony Schiavone and Pat Buck and Sanjay Dutt, guys like them, and then elevating guys like John Moxley and Chris Jericho, guys like them. It's like it seems like AEW already has their people, and if they want one more, then obviously they can get one more. But I think that considering that WWE is kind of like hitting the refresh button on the way they're doing business more than AEW is, I think that WWE can probably use him more than AEW can at this point in time.
Fair response.
That's
I
just
actually agree with
my
that.
That's just my opinion.
There'd be
I
so
was
much.
gonna say,
I feel like that's what NXT is missing. It needs another uh veteran creative mind, and like with William Regal there, like nothing was broken. Like nothing. There was really no reasons for this man to
yeah,
go. But I think, was it mutual that he wanted to go? I think it was mutual, or
I
that
don't
he was just
even,
let go.
I don't even remember, to be honest.
I remember he wrote a statement.
I think it was, I don't think it was mutual. However, he was just being a all time pro about it. Like he was just being a pro. He was just like, I'm just gonna go out gracefully. You know what I mean? Which should be the
Okay.
standard, but yeah.
Yeah, no, because he was just. I'm just saying, nothing was broken when he was there. If anything, like he made this time of year exciting for definitely a fan like me.
Mm-hmm.
That just just to hear war games every single year. So I gotta say it, war
War
games. Sorry, there you go.
war
Um,
games.
so I feel like they definitely could benefit. But yeah, moving on.
Moving